Welcome back to the Art of Hobbiness. I'm Erin, joined by my lovely co-host Tam. And today we're diving into an interesting topic that I think so many of us can relate to.
Oh yeah,
perfectionism.
Oh, we always,
of course.
Yeah, we love talking about perfectionism.
Oh yes, it is a hot topic. So, and as you all know, perfectionism can really hold you back from enjoying life. So
yeah.
We have some good news for you. We have a very perfect way to combat perfectionism.
Erin came very prepared today. She's ready for you guys. Give them their tips.
So please, get ready.
So you got 4 ways hobbies can help
Wait,
perfectionism.
did we say how? We didn't say how. What is our way to fight perfectionism?
Oh my God, I just jumped right into
Yes!
This is why you better do
we
the
have
show.
a way to fight perfectionism, and you're like, yes.
I was ready to get into it. I didn't come prepared, Erin. You're just...
No.
Go ahead.
Teach
the
big
kids.
secret's out,
Yes.
but it's hobbies, okay,
It's
guys?
hobbies. Ta-da!
We are
Did you guess?
hobbiness. Hobbiness.
Happiness.
Yep.
Yeah, we got it.
Anyways, we have been on a journey for the past 10 months of trying to find hobbies and happiness through hobbies and prioritize self-care.
Yes.
So, but along the road, we have discovered, and we already knew this about ourselves, that we are both perfectionists.
Yes.
Recovering perfectionists now.
Now recovering.
And we discovered that hobbies are a really great way to help you get out of that cycle.
I'm really enjoying your cadence that you have right now. I don't think I've ever
heard
really? Well, it's very da 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 da. I was like, I felt myself marching with you through it. I was like, keep going, Erin.
I'm on it today. Had extra coffee for you.
Okay, so you've got.
So, anyways,
we're trying to be heal.
Yeah,
we're trying to heal
exactly.
for perfectionism.
Just reduce the perfectionism, right?
Yes, I mean,
you're never going to get rid of it completely.
I was going to ask you if you ever thought that you would.
I don't think so,
because I feel like
it's so ingrained.
I do feel like I've improved, considerably. But there is still this little piece that I'm like, there are some things I do want.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right. And I
maybe not perfect, but I don't know, mate. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I think I've gotten a ton better too, so I don't know. But some part of me feels like we're just born that way, that you like things particular, but maybe that's a control thing. I don't know. You could go down a whole rabbit hole about that.
Yeah, I feel like we can definitely provide some tips that can help you improve on how much emphasis you put on perfectionism through all aspects of your life. I think prior to this, I was a perfectionism on all the levels, almost debilitating me so. I was... unless...
it would prevent us from starting something.
It would literally
because we were so worried about the outcome versus just doing the process, right?
Yes.
And, that's a huge part. I think probably one of the biggest things we've learned is, one, hobbies are just for you. They're not for anybody else. And nobody else. You don't have to share them with anybody. And there is no end goal. That's the nice thing about hobbies. You don't have to master anything. A hobby can be something that you do a few times.
It could be brunch.
It could be brunch.
A hobby could literally be going to have brunch with your friends.
Right. That's right.
Once a month.
Absolutely.
Where's the perfectionism in that? It's not there.
Yeah. Please tell us you don't have to go to the perfect brunch spot.
Well, I was going to say maybe the perfection is the brunch spot or your orange juice to Prosecco ratio.
Right, true. But no, hobbies are literally anything that brings you joy. So, and it can be something that you try one time and you decide you don't like it and you don't do it. Yeah. You just give it up. And that's the other nice thing we had to overcome too is you don't have to see it through. It's okay to quit.
Yes.
Right?
Which I think is a really big one for perfection.
It's a huge one.
People of perfectionism to break because in your mind, perfectionism is complete. It has to be complete, right? And so I think hobbies are a great way for perfectionists to kind of practice not completing something. Yeah. And not only not completing something, but not completing something perfectly. Right. Right?
Yes. So it's huge. I used to be one of those people who I'm a pretty big reader, and I used to be one of those people who started a book, I had to finish it, even if I hated it. And that was miserable, right? And it almost made me to the point where I don't want to read anymore. So I think through this, and, I've just been really trying to, if I start a book and I'll usually give it a good, few chapters. But if I'm not liking it, done. Good. Just gone off the list.
I'm pretty sure that's what we're in books. Is I was I had 4 or 5 bad books in a row, and I was like, maybe I just don't like books, and I just tossed it away.
No, you just haven't found the right book.
I just haven't found the right book.
No, it's true. So anyway, that's just a small example, but I think a good example of just how I've kind of started to break through, get over that perfectionism of feeling like you have to finish everything, you have to do it, master it, you know. So and so I think it's really about setting realistic expectations for yourself, you know.
I agree.
And just being happy with whatever you get out of it. I feel like every time we've done a hobby, we've learned something about
I would
ourselves.
agree. Oh, yeah.
And, realized that there's certain things we do like and don't like. Like, seems like you don't really like things with writing, right? Because you don't like, you know, whatever.
No.
Just
I am a typing generation,
yeah.
people. I type.
Yeah.
My thumbs are the best tools
That's
I
right.
have.
And you love doing stuff with your kids, like parallel
I do.
activities with your kids, or with other people, very extroverted. So like that's, you know,
which is so shocking because like prior to this, I would have. Believe it or not, folks, I think I'm an introvert.
It's the biggest joke of the year to you. No,
no,
I'm just kidding. No, I know. You're a home. I think you're a homebody. I don't think you're an introvert.
The difference. Yes.
You're an extrovert homebody.
Well, you know, introvert Tamara gets real annoyed with extrovert Tamara sometimes because extrovert Tamara can so it's getting me out there. Once you get me out there, I can hang.
Yes.
I can stay up there with the rest of them. But then once I get back inside, I retreat back into like, okay, now I need to refuel and get my energy. But then like I made friends and plans when I was extrovert Tamara, and now those people are calling to follow up with those plans, and I'm like, dang it, extrovert Tamara, you got introvert Tamara in trouble. Now I gotta go back out again.
That's hilarious.
So I gotta work on that.
I'm not sure how to pin you down. I like just define you. You're
I both. I dabble. She dabbles.
Definitely.
Okay, so
oh my gosh.
You have tips, right?
Okay,
you have tips on how to help people heal from perfectionism.
Yeah, and I think we touched on a lot of them already, but you know, focusing on the process rather than the outcome, which we definitely just
is really important because like when you focus on the process and not the outcome, I think that really also helps you hone on the skill of being present, which I think is something that like I feel like I could say that our general generation might have some challenges with. Just because of the fact of like we have social media so prevalent, right? Yeah. That all we see really on those social media is the outcome. Yeah. And they're of course most folks aren't going to post it unless it's Insta-worthy,
and those things that you see, it's like, oh gosh, you're taking a snippet of somebody's creation that maybe they worked on for years
and
to
you
get
have
that
no
skill.
idea, right?
Yeah. I feel like that's so it's just like anything in life. You have these people that are very successful in careers, but you didn't see all the work 20 years they did before that. You know, it's the same thing with hobbies or any sort of thing. Like you don't see all the work that went into that, and that is frustrating. It's deceiving, right? And you're just setting yourself up for failure if you think you're going to jump in and do it as well as somebody.
You're just going straight for the outcome. Absolutely, I agree with you. And like I know that even during like all my hobbies that I've been working on, I know that sometimes because again I'm a recovering perfectionist, I will go into it with the mindset of like, this is how it's going to look when I'm done. And then it doesn't quite look like that. And there is still some disappointment there because again, I'm still working through that. But each time
it gets easier, right?
So
and that's
much easier.
I think that's the benefit is like
practice.
You're rechanging your brain about that. Like you realize, I think that you realize that when it doesn't work out, like the world doesn't end. It's okay.
Man, that's a really good point. Because I think before I was somebody who really, I honestly, like I know I was somebody who would not try a new skill unless I already knew that I could kind of start off at like an exemplary level. Yeah. And I shortchanged myself so much on so many different things because it's like, well, how do I know? Right. If I haven't even tried it, like how do I know if I'm not good at something or great at something? Yeah.
So there's so much benefit in just exploring like yourself and hobbies or trying things like figuring out, I don't know, just there's something you just learn so much about yourself. And
and being present, like I feel like I'm getting more out of life by being present. So I feel like I'm getting more out of situations. You know, like I feel like I'm creating personally like more emotional attachments to like daily living as opposed to like just trying to live for the weekend. You know, like I feel by trying to make time daily for myself, I feel that I'm having that time to stop, reflect about how my day's been going, how do I want the rest of my day to go. And I don't feel like, did you ever feel, or maybe you still feel, because I think sometimes I still feel, but not as much, like you get to the end of the day and you lay in your bed and you're like, well, crud, okay, I wish I would have done that better. I wish I would have done this better. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you feel that that's gotten, do you feel it's become easier for you at night to kind of lay your head down on the pillow now that you've been practicing on being more present? And do you feel like that's becoming less and less of a heavy hitter right before bed?
That's a good point. I hadn't really considered. I think, yes, to answer your question shortly, it is definitely gotten better. The pattern is better. I think having other things to focus on other than just the stressors of work and daily life, just having other things to think, like we think about this podcast, right? Yeah. So it's something that fills your brain that's positive that you can think about instead of those other things, you know. I've never been good about shutting down those thoughts, those negative thoughts. So having something else to think about definitely has helped.
Well, and it's something that isn't like dwelling on all the negativity, right? Like it's like something that's kind of focused, like laser focused on a hobby, right? And you're just kind of in it and you're present and maybe you're listening to music while you're doing it. Like I feel like it just kind of, I don't know. Like I just feel like when I lay down my head down at the end of the day, like, you know, I still think about, I wish that conversation would have gone a little bit differently, but I'm not like, it's not debilitating me from going to sleep now. Because now I'm like, that wasn't really great. But also I did have this really awesome moment where I had some time earlier in the day to kind of reflect on it while I was working through projects.
It's helped us to be more positive in life. And like, I don't know, just enjoy life more, be happier, right? And I think back to the perfectionism, it's just learning that trying all these things is just part of the process. And I don't know, you just don't have to put so much pressure on yourself. Life doesn't have to be all like...
don't take it so seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Don't take it so seriously.
Which I totally was doing for a big chunk of life up until this point.
True. Like, let's have more fun, right? Yeah, I think that's the nice thing about hobbies is that they're literally just for you, for nobody else. And, like, there's no pressure, you know? And you just, once you can let go of that, like, perfectionism... And it just opens up a whole different mindset, a whole different world, right? Yeah.
Yep. And so I know another one of the tips that we talked about is like setting like realistic expectations. Yeah. And I think that's also another thing that kind of helps fight perfectionism a little bit, because I feel like I think part of my perfectionism was I did have unrealistic expectations of everything I touched. I felt I had to be the best at it, or I was like a complete failure. Yeah. Like there was no in between for me. It was black and white. Right. And
now you're realizing that's not true, right?
Yeah.
Like you have failed a few times and you're like, okay, it's fine. And now it seems like I can tell that we both are just a little bit more easygoing about it.
Oh yeah. And practicing with hobbies and like having failures in practicing those hobbies, I feel like now I kind of, instead of just like, okay, so say I have a project in mind and I'm like, I'm gonna make this thing, and then I get to the end of it and I've theoretically completed it, but it looks nothing like what I saw on Pinterest or Instagram. You know, it's not like totally soul crushing now. Right. Now it's kind of laughable. Yeah. And I'm like, I almost kind of find myself even kind of proud now of like my failures, and like I run upstairs to show Pat and I'm like, look at this pathetic thing I just did. It's so cute. You know, like I find...
I think that comes to our third tip.
Oh yes.
Embracing mistakes.
Embrace the mistakes. Why not make
the
a
happy
mistake
accidents?
or two? Yeah, because I mean, like, okay, so it didn't turn out like I wanted it to.
Right.
Who did it hurt?
Nobody.
It literally didn't hurt a single
It might have given you a little laugh.
Right? It didn't hurt anybody. Right. Nobody told me that, like, I've been demoted. Right. You know, like, there's nothing, like, attacking me for it. The only person that was attacking me for those failures was myself. Right. I was such a bully to myself for no reason.
I know. I mean, I think as women, we're all so hard on ourselves, in our brains, right? It's just, we got to get out of that, you know? You got to, like, help yourself. Just, I don't know.
It gets tough because it's like, you know, I think... you know, again, I think as women, you know, you're raised to be, especially in this generation, like we were raised to be studious because we were trying to get to the best college, to get the best job, right? To like really stand up for, you know, ourselves as women. And like, that's great. Like that's awesome, like goals. But we also need to make sure that we take time to self-reflect about those goals. Are these goals that still line up with us in this chapter of our life? Yeah. Maybe it changed as we grew new skills, because maybe we found new skills that maybe we excel at even more and can explore those.
So true.
So I think like, you know, you look at it as like, you could say the word setback, but I don't think setback is appropriate. I think seeing like that little failure as a happy accident, right? And see it as a happy accident because it just kind of changed your trajectory a little bit, but for the positive, and it puts you in a stronger set. Like if you listen to those mistakes, you follow the direction where you were kind of going, more strongly in that mistake, it'll lead you to a skill set that you really could feel like confident in yourself in.
That's a great point. You know, that is so true. I love that.
Yeah. I just came up with that just now.
Stepping stone of mistakes. Yes. No, I like it. So yes. And then our final one was just remind yourself that, I think we already kind of touched on this, but that it doesn't have to be for anyone else. No. You don't have to post it. You don't have to share it. You don't have to get anyone else's approval. It is just for you. Whatever that means to you, you know? And
I know it's so hard for our generation because, again, we grew up with social media where that's literally what we do.
Yeah, and I think, too, that plus this idea that you always have to be working, you always have to be hustling. You shouldn't, like, anything you do should be monetized, and anything you do should be for something, right? And, gosh, it's gotten us into such a pickle.
For those of you who don't know, what I live for is Erin's. What a pickle, you guys! She got us in a pickle. I love it. I'm so happy I got one today. You're right, Erin. It got us in such a pickle.
But no, we are now like a generation of women who are lost and don't have anything for ourselves.
Right.
And I'm crying over here.
I love it.
Yeah, that we are just so in the grind of work and family.
Truly.
And like having a successful career, and we have lost all the, joy in life, right? And the perfectionism, like, definitely is just so stunting. So
yeah, well, and you're right, and everybody's quote unquote successes are so accessible to us, right? Like, I mean, think about, like, you literally can't pick up your phone, you can't pick up any type of device without seeing somebody's success story, right?
Right.
And because, like, do you go to your high school reunions? No, we don't have to, right? Because we don't lose track of people anymore. In fact, I have so much track of so many people that I could literally care less.
Yeah, it's so true.
But, like, and all of those people are just showing you their highs, right? Like, you just don't see the lows. Yeah. And so, like, it's easy to beat yourself up about, like, how, like, one of your projects or hobbies or self-care items didn't turn out Insta-worthy, because then you're like, well, Shelly
a waste
just,
of time or something.
Shelly just cranked out 3 success stories today on Insta.
I mean, we've got to rethink it. Like, it's not a waste of time. It is giving something back to yourself, and that is the most valuable thing to do, right? More than anything. I mean, you have to take care of yourself. Yeah. So, anyway, I think that's a great point to end on. No. I love it. So, from one recovering perfectionist to another.
Yes.
We hope that this resonated with you guys, and it will help just put a little thought in your brain next time that you're beating yourself up about something that doesn't turn out quite right.
It doesn't have to be perfect. And it's just recognizing in that one moment that you don't need to have it perfect, you've already done the first step.
That's right.
To overcoming perfectionism.
That's right.
It just takes one step at a time of you doing something, taking a beat to look at it and be like, it's not that it's perfect, it's done.
That's right.
You just start and get it done.
Yep.
Seeing it done and repetitively practicing, just getting it done, I think will change that process of perfectionism.
Yeah. I'm going to switch that. I don't think you have to finish.
You don't think you have to finish?
No.
Okay, like, what do you think you do use?
If it's a hobby and you don't like it, I think you can quit.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay.
I think it's more about listening to intuition when you're doing hobbies.
You're right.
Yeah.
Don't listen to
Sorry, Tam.
Listen to Erin's Tam. I don't know. I'm just a co-host. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I appreciate that. No, I appreciate that because you're right. Like, I'm sitting here thinking about how it needs to just be done, but you're right. Like, I think just
like me not finishing books.
Starting. Yeah. Just start.
When you start that book club, if you don't like that book, you just tell them, hey, sorry, I didn't like it.
Yeah. Book club is a TBD podcast.
Yeah, we'll hear about that next time. So in the future, if you want to hear about that, Tam learning how to do book club. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this topic.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
I did.
Yeah, from one recovering perfectionist. We hope the other perfectionists out there get something out of this. Please reach out to us on social media. We love to chat, connect with you. That's what it's for, right?
Absolutely.
So, check us out.
All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.